Hello students. So students, in the previous class in this chapter, that is nutrition and animals, we were talking about the nutrition and we were discussing about the different steps which is involved in the case of the nutrition. When we were talking about the different steps, we discussed about ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and that of the egestion process. And in that, we had discussed that what do we understand by the alimentary canal. So basically, alimentary canal is what? It is that part which is started from the mouth to that of the anus of a person. It means alimentary canal includes everything. It includes mouth, it includes that of the esophagus, it will also include the stomach, it will include the small intestine, large intestine, rectum and finally anus. Now alimentary canal also it is associated with that of the digestive glands. What are these glands which are present in that of the our digestive system? So they are students. First one is the salivary gland. Then liver is there, and then pancreas is also there. These all things is related or is associated with the digestive system in a human being. It means the digestive system includes all the parts which is related to the alimentary canal, which includes mouth, esophagus, intestine, stomach as well as the rectum. When we were talking about the glands only, if we are talking about the three glands, what is the role of the glands? So basically the role of the glands are they help in releasing the juices. What are these juices? Since we are talking about the digestive system, so obviously the juices which is released by these glands is associated with the digestive. It means it is the digestive juices. These juices help in the digestion of the food. So the first gland, that is salivary gland. So salivary gland basically it releases saliva. Now these saliva, it mixes with the food and help in softening the food as well as help in swallowing the food. Not only this, saliva also help in the partial digestion of the carbohydrate. You know that when we take food consisting of all the different kind of a nutrient, that is carbohydrate, protein, fats and vitamins. And we are not able to take all the nutrient as it is. So it is necessary that these nutrients should be break down into the smaller molecule. Okay, and this can be done with the help of our digestive system. Now, salivary gland is also associated, it is also a part of our digestive system, so that will help in the digestion. So salivary gland help in releasing the saliva and this saliva help in the partial digestion. Why partial? Partial means half digestion or a small amount of a digestion will take place in our mouth. So saliva help in the small digestion of the carbohydrate. Okay. So this is the function of the salivary gland. Second is the liver. Liver, it is the largest gland and it is about reddish brown in color basically. And the role of the liver that it help in releasing the digestive juice which ultimately help in the digestion of the fats that we take. Then the third one is there is the pancreas or the intestinal juices are as well. So it help in the digestion of everything. It means it help in the digestion of a protein, it help in the digestion of a fats as well as it help in the digestion of the carbohydrate. So these are the glands which are the part of our digestive system. So we have discussed here the first part, that is our mouth. What happens when the food enters into the mouth? So mouth is what? When you look at the mouth, when you open your mouth, student, what happens? You will find there is a space in the mouth. And that space is called as the cavity. And since it is present in the mouth, we will call it as a mouth cavity or buccal cavity. Okay, so our buccal cavity basically store our teeth. It also store that of the tongue, and salivary gland is there which help in releasing the saliva. Teeth, it help in grinding of the food, as well as if we talk about the tongue. So tongue help in releasing the tongue help in mixing the saliva with the grinded food, and salivary gland, which is releasing saliva, it will help in the digestion of the starch which is present in it. Now food from the mouth enter into the food pipe. What is that food pipe? We have used a term for it, we have used a name for it, and that is called as esophagus. Esophagus is also called as the food pipe. Okay, so this food enter into the food pipe, this food enter into the esophagus. What is the role of the esophagus? It basically used to contract, it basically used to expand. So how this contraction expansion take place? So when, if suppose the food enter here, so what happened? Due to which the food, due to the entrance of the food, the pipe get expanded little bit, and as this passes through this portion of the esophagus, again it will contract. So here the expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction, this movement is called as peristaltic movement. Okay, which help in the making the food to enter into the stomach from that of the food pipe. Now, there is a term that is called as antiperistalsis. Antiperistalsis, it means just opposite to the peristaltic movement. It happens when we vomit. You know that whatever with the food that we take, we are not able to take it outside until and unless we apply a pressure on our stomach so that we can vomit. So what happen in case of a vomiting? Antiperistalsis happen, and due to which the food will come out through the stomach. So this is the thing that happen in our food pipe. Now moving on, and we will see that what happened in case of the stomach. It means what happened when the food enter into the stomach of a person. So it is what? It is a thick bag. It is a thick walled bag. It is a thick walled bag present, thick walled bag present on the left side of the abdomen. On the left side of the abdomen. On the left side of the abdomen. Okay. Second one, it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It is the widest part of the alimentary canal. Okay, widest part of the alimentary canal. For how much hour this food is churned into the stomach? Now you see, this is what it is, a kind of a J-shaped walled bag is there, students, J-shaped. Okay, so we can also write as that thick J-shaped or thick walled J-shaped bag is present on the left side of our abdomen, that we call as the stomach. And basically, the stomach is what? It is the widest part of the alimentary canal. Now, the food from the esophagus reaches to the stomach. And this food will churn in the stomach almost for 3 hours. So, we can write it here, that is, the food is churned in the stomach for 3 hours. Okay, it is churned in the stomach for 3 hours, and during this process the food will get converted into the smaller water soluble or smaller digested food. That is, during this period the food is churned in the stomach and broken into smaller pieces. It get broken down or it get broken into still smaller pieces. Now here what happened, how this broken down, how it get converted into the smaller one. So here the wall of this stomach, they consisting of a digestive juices. Again see, this also releases juices. These juices help in the digestion of the food material. Now the question arises, what kind of a digestive juices is released by the stomach? So that is, first one is hydrochloric acid, which we call as HCl. Second one is the pepsin. It's a kind of an enzyme which help in the digestion of the protein. And third one is the mucus. So we can write it here. The inner lining of the stomach stomach secretes mucus. It secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid, it secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid and digestive juices as well as digestive juices. So the inner lining secretes mucus, it secretes hydrochloric acid and also digestive juices is released from the stomach. Now let us see that what are the role of this hydrochloric acid, these digestive juices as well as the mucus which is released by the inner lining of the stomach. It is quite important, student, to know the function of all three. So we will start with the first one, and that is the mucus. So the role of the mucus is, first one is mucus. Mucus, it protects the lining of the stomach. It protects the lining of the stomach. It protects the lining of the stomach from its own secretion, that is hydrochloric acid. Now let me tell you what is the role of a mucus. What happened in case of the in the stomach, the lining of the stomach, it is protected or it is covered with the mucus. Why? Because stomach is releasing hydrochloric acid. Now it is what? It is acid. You know that acid is not good for any surface, especially if its amount is much. So if large amount of acid is released by that of the stomach lining, so what will happen? These acid will not going only acid not only work on that of the food, but also starts corroding the wall of the stomach, and that is not good for the stomach. So in order to protect from any kind of erosion, the mucus is there. Okay, so if mucus lining will be there, so acid will act on the mucus lining instead of corroding, instead of eroding that of the stomach lining. Okay, so mucus is the lining which is present at the surface of the stomach. It is a lining which helps in protecting the stomach lining in order to from that of its own secretion, that is hydrochloric acid. So this is the function of the mucus, that is protection from that of the hydrochloric acid. Then the next one is the hydrochloric acid itself. That is hydrochloric acids. Hydrochloric acids also makes the medium acidic. They also makes the medium acidic, and if it is an acidic medium, now what is the role of this hydrochloric acid? So this hydrochloric acid, it will help the digestive juices so that they can work on the food which is present in the stomach, right? Second thing, since it is acidic medium, since it is acidic in nature, so that will help in killing the bacteria or the germs which is entering into the stomach. Okay, so the first role of the hydrochloric acid is hydrochloric acid kills any bacteria, which enters into the stomach, So this is the first role. Remember student, these all points are really important because the question may be asked that what is the role of the mucus in the stomach? What is the role of a hydrochloric acid in the stomach? So you should know about it. That is, the role of a hydrochloric acid is to kill the bacteria which is entering into the stomach. This is the first function. Now let us see what is the second function of the hydrochloric acid. I told you that its role is to work when the digestive juices, it will help the digestive juices to work on the food. So the second one is, it makes the medium acidic, which is important for the proper action of digestive juices on the food. Proper action of the digestive juices on the food. So you see that what are the different role of the hydrochloric acid? These two are the important role of hydrochloric acid. Help in killing the germs or bacteria which is entering into the stomach, as well as it help in making the medium acidic, and due to which the proper action of the digestive juices on that of the food can occur. Last, that is the digestive juices. What is the role of the digestive juices? So these digestive juices, basically they are secreted from the wall of the stomach, and they used to act on the proteins and help in the partial digestion. Again, here also not the complete digestion, but partial or the small amount of a digestion of the protein occur in the stomach. We have seen in case of the mouth, partial digestion of the starch occur, partial digestion of the carbohydrate occur, and we have seen in case of the stomach, here also the digestion occur, but this time the digestion of protein happens. Now let us see here the next one, that is the role of the digestive juices. So the first thing that we can write about the digestive juices are, these digestive juices are secreted by the stomach lining. Secreted means released, you can say. Okay, so secreted by the stomach lining, break down the protein, food into the simpler substance. Okay, so it helps in breaking down that of the protein which is present in that of the food into the simpler substances. So basically here also not the complete digestion, but partial digestion of the food happen. Now this partial digested food from the stomach enter into the small intestine. So this whole thing happened in the stomach. We have seen stomach, a J-shaped bag like a structure is there which is present at the left side of our abdomen, and it is the widest part of our alimentary canal, and when the food enter into it get churned for 3 hours, and basically lining of the stomach releases 3 things. First is the mucus, second is the digestive juices, and that of the hydrochloric acid. Role of the hydrochloric acid help in making the medium digested, and role of the mucus, it help in protecting that of the lining of the stomach, and role of the juices role of the hydrochloric acid is to make the acidic medium, and digestive juices help in digestion or partial digestion of the protein happens here. Now what happened in case of the small intestine? So food from that of the stomach enter into the small intestine. Again I am telling you that this digestion is the partial digestion, still not a complete digestion happen. Complete digestion of the food occur only in the small intestine. Till that food digestion occurs, but that is not a complete one. Only the partial digestion happens, or the incomplete digestion happens. So let us see what happened when the food enter into the small intestine. So before we understand the juices which is released in the small intestine, let us find that what is a small intestine, what kind of a structure small intestine have, what is the length of the small intestine. So small intestine is a very long tube, and it is about 6.5 meter long. Okay, it is about 6.5 meter long. 6.5 meter long. Okay, so if it is a long tube and it is this much long, even it is longer than that of the large intestine, so why the name is given small intestine? It should be the long intestine. It is because of the wide, it is a narrow tube like a structure, and the large intestine is a wider than that of the smaller one. That is why the name is given small intestine. It means this word small, it is not related to the length of the intestine, but it depends upon the that width of the intestine. So in case of a small intestine, the width of the small intestine the smaller is narrower, and that is why the name is small intestine. And the intestine in which the width is quite large, okay, broad, that is why that name is large intestine. So we can write it here that though it is a long tube, it is a long tube, it is called small intestine. It is called small intestine, because it is quite narrow tube. It is quite narrow tube. So although it is a long tube, but because of the width only, we used to call it a small intestine. Moving on, and we will see here that is, in case of the human being, the complete digestion of the food happen in the small intestine. The small intestine in human being is the site of complete digestion. The site of complete digestion of the food. It is what? It is the site of the complete digestion of the food. As well as the process of absorption. You see, when we were talking about the nutrition steps, so there we had discussed about the absorption step also. So the process of absorption also occur in the small intestine. So we can write it here, that is it is the main reason for absorption of digested food. For absorption of digested food. It is the main reason for absorption of digested food. Now if we see here the first one, student, and that is the complete digestion. We are continuously talking about the complete digestion. It means we are saying here that in case of a small intestine, first one, complete digestion of the food happen. Second thing, that is absorption is taking place. So first of all, we will see that how complete digestion occur in case of a small intestine. So complete digestion. So let us see that how complete digestion used to take place here, students. So basically here in case of a small intestine, it receives juices from the 3 glands. That is, first one is from the liver, second one is from the pancreas, and the third one from its own wall. So we can write it here, that is, it receives secretion. It receives secretion of digestive juices from the liver, then pancreas, also from its also from its own walls. So it receives secretion from the liver, from the pancreas, and also from its wall, from its own wall.